Welcome to Sharp Mind, where one tiny clue can change everything. Think fast, look closer, and prove how sharp your mind really is. Let the challenge begin!
Question 1. Who secretly swapped the diamond? For security guards are protecting a priceless diamond, but the real diamond has been secretly replaced with a fake. One guard made a tiny mistake. Can you spot it? Answer. Number 3. Look extremely closely at his glove. That tiny transparent fragment matches the torn protective film on the diamond case. He must have opened the case and switched the diamond. Question 2. Who is the fake antique dealer? For antique dealers are presenting rare 200-year-old pocket watches. But one dealer has made a microscopic mistake that exposes the fake. Can you find it? Answer. Number 4. Look extremely closely at the tiny winding crown. Its perfectly uniform modern ridges don't match the handmade finish of a genuine antique watch. That's the tiny mistake that exposes the fake. Question 3. Who is secretly lying about the mountain expedition? For explorers claim they reached the summit of a frozen mountain yesterday. But one tiny detail proves that one of them is lying. Can you find the liar? Answer. Number 2. Look closely at the edge of the boot. It's completely clean while the rest of the expedition gear is covered in frozen snow. That tiny detail suggests the boot was recently used on a dry surface, not the snowy summit. Question 4. Who is the fake deep-sea explorer? For explorers claim they just returned from the deepest part of the ocean. Everything looks convincing, but one microscopic detail exposes the liar. Can you spot it? Answer. Number 1. Look at the tiny gap around the glove seal. Those dry salt crystals shouldn't be there after a deep sea dive. It's a microscopic clue that exposes the fake explorer. Question 5. Who is the fake astronomer? For astronomers are preparing for a rare night sky observation. One of them claims to have calibrated the telescope, but a microscopic mistake gives them away. Can you spot it? Answer. Number 3. Look extremely closely at the tiny alignment notch on the finderscope cap. It's facing the wrong direction, proving they didn't actually calibrate the telescope. Question 6. Who is the fake violin maker? For craftsmen claim they built these priceless violins by hand. But one tiny detail exposes the fake. Can you find? them? Answer and. Number 2. Look extremely closely at the bridge. Its perfectly machine-cut edges reveal that it wasn't hand-fitted like the others. That's the tiny mistake. Question 7. Who is the fake archaeologist? 4 archaeologists have just discovered an ancient underground chamber. All 4 claim they were working at the site all day. But one tiny detail in the scene proves that one of them is lying. Don't rush, look carefully at every character and every object. Can you find the archaeologist who was never actually working at the excavation? Answer. Number 4. Look extremely closely at the stitching of the left boot. That tiny white dust doesn't belong to this excavation site. Since there's no white material anywhere around them, it's a subtle clue that number 4 wasn't actually working here. Question 8. Who is the fake watchmaker? 4 expert watchmakers are displaying their most valuable handmade watches. Everything looks perfect, but one tiny detail reveals that one of them is pretending to be a master craftsman. Can you find the fake? Answer. Number 1. Look extremely closely at the tiny gear inside the watch. Its perfectly uniform edge is machine-cut, unlike the hand-finished gears of a genuine handmade watch. That's the microscopic clue. Question 9. Who is the fake wildlife photographer? 4 wildlife photographers claim they captured a rare animal deep inside the forest. Their cameras and equipment look completely professional. But one tiny detail in their gear proves that one of them is lying. Can you spot the fake? Answer and explanation. Number 2. Look very closely at the lens hood. That tiny droplet is trapped on the inside, meaning the lens was recently opened after coming from a humid environment. Number 2's camera wasn't actually kept protected like the others. Question 10. Who is the fake deep-sea diver? 4 divers have returned from a deep-sea expedition. They all claim they reached the same underwater wreck, but one of them is lying. The clue is so tiny that most people will miss it. Study every detail carefully. Can you find the fake diver? Answer. Number 3. Look extremely closely at the tiny groove on the glove buckle. That pale yellow sediment doesn't match the deep-sea wreck site. It comes from a shallow coastal area, so number 3 couldn't have been at the wreck like they claimed. Question 11. Who is the fake forensic expert? 4 forensic experts have been called to examine a mysterious crime scene. Every one of them looks professional, but one person has made a tiny mistake that almost nobody will notice. Look carefully at their equipment. Can you find the fake expert? Answer. Number 2. Look very carefully at the fingerprint brush. Its tiny protective cap is still attached to the wrong end. A real forensic expert would know exactly how the brush should be stored and protected. That microscopic mistake gives number 2 away. Question 12. Who is the fake restoration expert? 4 art restoration experts are working on a priceless centuries-old painting. Everything looks perfectly professional, but one of them has made an incredibly tiny mistake. It is almost impossible to see. Can you find the fake expert? Answer. Number 4. Look extremely closely at the tip of the brush. That tiny spot of modern bright white paint doesn't match the aged pigments used for the centuries-old artwork. That's the microscopic mistake that exposes the fake expert. Question 13. Who is the fake glacier researcher? 4 scientists have returned from a dangerous glacier expedition. They all claim they collected samples from the same remote location. But one tiny detail in their equipment tells a completely different story. Look carefully. Can you identify the fake researcher? Answer. Number 1. Look extremely closely at the backpack buckle. That tiny piece of green moss doesn't belong on the glacier. It matches vegetation found much lower down the mountain, meaning number 1 couldn't have come directly from the claimed location. Question 14. Who is the fake gemologist? 4 gemologists are examining for supposedly priceless diamonds. Every expert looks completely convincing, but one has made a microscopic mistake. The clue is hiding in something so small that you'll probably need to zoom in. Can you find the fake? Answer. Number 3. Look extremely closely at the tip of the tweezers. That microscopic indentation shows they have been gripping the diamond incorrectly. A professional gemologist would never handle a valuable stone that way. Question 15. Who is the fake meteorite hunter? 4 meteorite hunters claim they discovered a rare meteorite in the desert. They all brought back samples, but one tiny detail proves that one of them never found it. Look very carefully. Can you catch the fake? Answer. Number 2. Look extremely closely inside the container hinge. That tiny patch of yellow dust doesn't match the discovery site. It's a microscopic clue that number 2 brought the sample from somewhere else.